How's it going, guys? Rangovidmango12 here, and we're reviewing Spider-Man 2099 issue 12. We're still catching up on all of the missed reviews that, well, the reviews I've missed. And if you remember from the previous issue, we actually had Tempest turn into what seemed to be some kind of spider hunting bug/fly creature thing, and it seems to be caused by the cancer cure that Spider-Man actually injected her with, or well, sprayed on her. But other than that, we have no idea how she's turned into this, and she's actually pretty scary. But yeah, so without further ado, guys, I've said enough. Let's jump into the comic. Alright, so at the very end of the previous issue, we saw Tempest turn into this monstrosity of a creature/bug, whatever she is. We don't exactly get that explained to us, but either way, she's after Spider-Man, and I think her main purpose, the purpose is to eat spiders, or man spiders, or something along those lines. So that is why she is after Spider-Man. Now let's just discuss some of the ideas as to how she became this creature. Now, in my opinion, I would personally prefer it to be something along the lines of like the Hulk. You know, like where she had it within her the entire time. So the cancer spray didn't necessarily make her, like, become this creature. She had it in her the entire time, and like the cancer spray just brought it out of her, if you get what I mean. Similar to how the Hulk works, but we'll just have to wait and see, because I do know that we do find out what actually happened towards the end of the comic. But as of right now, just comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think of like your ideas and maybe how she became this creature. Just give me some of your thoughts and your theories, but we'll definitely find out at the end of the issue, so yeah. But anyway, moving on further into the comic, you can see that Spider-Man has gone into Central Park to pretty much hide, maybe gather his thoughts, speak to Lila, his holographic assistant from the future, I guess. But yeah, she pretty much says that it's impossible that the spray could have caused this. She says that it's absolutely impossible that the spray could have altered her like genetic DNA and stuff like that to cause this to happen. So that also kind of backs up my theory as to say that maybe this creature was within her the entire time. Maybe this is like her secret power. So maybe all this time Tempest never really had cancer. It was just like this monster inside her. Imagine that. That would be crazy, especially because Spider-Man's from the future. So what if this Tempest is some kind of major villain? Or like maybe she was a villain now, and in the year 2099 they have like files on her or something like that. I don't know. But either way, as you can see, Tempest has taken a police officer hostage, and it seems like possibly the bravest police officer ever, because she's pretty much telling Spider-Man that he's more important, so get out of here whilst you have the chance. And to our shocking surprise, Spider-Man actually picks up a gun and starts shooting Tempest with it. Now of course we know, and so does Spider-Man, that Tempest's armor is actually bulletproof, so she can't necessarily be hurt by this, but the bullets can still knock her back enough for Spider-Man to actually get the upper hand and maybe to let go of the hostage. But it just looks so weird yet so badass that Spider-Man is actually shooting a villain. And this is where Spider-Man actually runs and dives into Tempest, and they both fall into the lake and they all go underwater. And everybody knows that it is so much harder to fight underwater, especially if you're Spider-Man. Now, one of the best things for Spider-Man is the fact that Tempest can actually use her wings whilst underwater, so that gets Spider-Man with an advantage. But what's not the advantage to Spider-Man is the fact that he can't breathe underwater, and what's even worse is that Tempest is still armoured. Really armoured, so Spider-Man can't actually get her with any punches, but the only thing that he can think of to do at the time is to tell Tempest that it's Miguel under the mask. So basically he just revealed his identity to her, and she actually gets pretty shocked by it, and in that moment Spider-Man takes the advantage and punches her straight in the face in order to knock her out cold. And then, of course, he still has to save her from drowning, so he then has to go and get her and bring her back up to the surface, to which the cops are there waiting for them. And one of the coolest things about the police, or specifically this police officer, you know, the woman who was like being held hostage, she actually covered for Spider-Man, saying that she doesn't know who actually shot the weapon, but as we know, it was actually Spider-Man. Now, what you've also got to remember is that the civilians, like the police and everyone, do not know that Spider-Man 2099 and 616 Spider-Man are both like in the city. They only think that one Spider-Man is in the city, which is the 616 Spider-Man. So they pretty much think that this is Peter Parker stood in front of them. So yeah, but as all Spider-Men do, they run away from the police before they start asking questions, before they start arresting him and stuff like that, which is awesome. And he actually jumps onto a bus on which, if I remember correctly, is 5th Avenue, if I remember correctly. But we also got to see that Tempest did come out of her creature form and she's back to being a regular woman again. She's back to human form and she doesn't necessarily remember that much. But what you've got to remember is that Spider-Man did reveal his identity to her and he thinks that she just won't remember. But as you can see at the end of the comic there, she definitely does remember that Miguel is Spider-Man, and I think that's going to be interesting to see that play out in future Spider-Man 2099 comics. But as of right now, I think that this is the last issue for Spider-Man 2099 because of the Secret Wars event, but hopefully after Secret Wars this series will continue and we'll get to see what that impact is going to be. So maybe Miguel and Tempest will have a relationship. I don't necessarily know how that's going to work since Miguel is from the future and he's not supposed to interfere with the past, but yeah, he's kind of already done so by curing her cancer, so yeah. But what did you guys think of this issue? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. I thought it was brilliant, especially just the way, like that little twist at the end with Tempest remembering that Miguel is Spider-Man. And just, I don't know what it is, but I kind of like the Spider-Man 2099 comics a little bit better than the 616 Amazing Spider-Man comics. I don't know why, but I just feel like the character is a lot more developed, maybe. Like, I don't know, just the situations Miguel gets himself into is a lot better, in my opinion. But make sure you hit the like button, guys. Don't forget about the Secret Wars event over in my other videos. You can click the annotation at the end of this video to go to that review. And of course, you have to remember to go to the links in the description to my Twitter and Facebook page to get early previews of comics, and of course just comic news in general, and know when I'm editing videos, etc. But yeah, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video.